Now let's talk about, do you think that, Africans or, Nigerians in particular have started exploring the use of dermatologists for skincare? Because I didn't hear any of you say at some point, I feel like you had issues with your skin drying up, Have you started thinking about the fact that we have dermatologists here you could actually talk to, their skin doctors?
Well,
do you think we've started doing that?
I'm aware that they exist, like I know they exist, and for the most part, I think that there are certain things that are even covered by your health insurance and all of that. But for me, the concern is, do they even understand my skin? So that's always the first thing. Like even when I go into beauty shops and I see products, it's the first thing that always comes to my mind is they don't have a clue where I'm coming from. So even though I'm aware of it, I don't think I have that comfort feel that they'll really understand my skin. Yeah.
How about you?
I'm aware of them too. I mean, I do my own research. So, I mean, like if anything really was bothering me, I'd probably like take the plunge. But I keep thinking like, I'm pretty sure dermatology, even though like I don't have health insurance, so I can't risk that. So for me, I just bite the bullet, do my own research. And it's been working out for me so far, so I don't need a dermatologist. That's
Would you
how I
do
think.
that? Okay.
So I've been in Canada for how many years now, and I've been to the dermatologist just once. And that was,
you did?
That was because I was having a skin issue after I gave birth to my second boy. And it took me almost 4 weeks to make up my mind to see a dermatologist. I remember one time, I was having, acne, and I saw my doctor, and she said, "Have you seen a dermatologist before?" And I said, "No." She's a Nigerian. And she was like, "Okay, you need to see." I said, "Doctor, leave that in."
Because we don't like, it's not something we...
It's not something we're used to.
We're used to.
Right.
People do it now in Nigeria though, but maybe because of the organic creams and the rest, but people have started using dermatologists in Nigeria, but...
Yes, I do follow a couple of them that I would love to use their services.
Yeah. So how was your experience with the dermatologist though?
So it was just in and out, she just, during the COVID period, so what I did was I took
she
picture.
Nigerian? Or?
No,
Okay,
I took picture of, of the situation, and I showed it. So she recommended something, but after a while, it all went away. I just said I wasn't going back when I realized it wasn't working. But I said you know what?
So do you think it wasn't working because you didn't understand your skin type, or?
I don't know if it's because of my skin type, or probably maybe I wasn't just using the right product at that time. So I just said, you know what, this is the reason why I've never been to a dermatologist before. So
because my people escalated.
She just proved my point. So
yeah. I think I would have gone if I didn't run into the pharmacist at the drugstore that actually recommended something for IMI, because it was in like a day, in 24 hours after using the same products that I used in Nigeria. And of course, we bought it here, right? But something I need to mention is when we brought like few products from Nigeria, like we had when you do bulk shopping. So we had we didn't have a problem of using the ones we bought from Nigeria here. But the moment we ran out and bought the one here, it was dramatic. So I went to the pharmacy store, and I was just fortunate to speak to somebody because I couldn't keep quiet. So I'm just imagining if I didn't get help from, or whatever she said that day didn't work, I'm using a dermatologist because that rash, it looked like an affliction. It looked like an affliction. But now, let's talk about, the challenges that we face here. We keep talking about the hair care products. Why do you think we're now living here? We should be using stuff here. Okay, this your shipping. Wow. This your shipping from Nigeria. I can imagine how much it costs you. So, but why? What are the challenges you faced that made you decide to start doing these things? And how do you think that we can manage these things as immigrants living here?
So we didn't have a lot of beauty shops that cater to women of color. Because I searched, beauty shops, and everything that I was seeing there was nothing there for me. And I know that if I go, they're not going to understand my coarse hair, you know, try to straighten it and it's not silky. They're like, what is going on with his hair? So it was just, you know, so it was difficult, and YouTube was my only solution. I started learning how to make my hair myself. I started learning how to make my wig. So that was just a solution for me.
Well, that's
do
a
it
plus
yourself.
Yeah.
Then that's the plus. So what about you, Falake?
I'm going to talk more about hair, you know, because I've got 2 girls plus myself. That's 3 of us. For me, the first point was the money.
And you know when I first came, we should increase your microphones. Make it louder.
The first time I asked someone, like, you know how we do cornrows back home? I mean,
Yeah.
the kids want to go to school. I even had someone who comes home to my house to do it for the 2 girls. And then when the person told me, I did the conversion in my head, I'm like, what? Please, are you adding gold to the hair? Let me know.
No, the cost of making
And
hair.
so for a long time after we came, I was doing their hair for them. And then
Did you know how to make hair, or you had to learn?
my darling, I had to learn. I had to learn.
By first
I had never done braids before I got here, and I did it. I watched YouTube, so learned how to twist my hand and everything.
no, by fire, by
And it came out
force.
nice.
Yeah, so
And from then on,
it's a
I've been
plus.
doing
It's
it
a
for
skill
them.
you've learned, right? What about you?
But it's not funny. Like
No, it's not. I would never
3
have
hours.
thought of making my hair myself.
It takes a lot of
In
time.
Nigeria, no, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
No, it takes long. But for me, you see, no, I was lucky because I already know here, there's not many hair salons for us.
Yeah.
And the ones that are available, let's be real, our hair is different.
Yeah.
It is
yeah.
worlds
It is.
apart. See, we were lucky. My mom could do hair. Bless
Yeah,
her heart.
mom makes good hair.
Because she would stand there and she would just be my sister. She would just do our hair day in, day out. She'll take her time, but we will sit because what choice?
Yeah.
And then eventually, me and my sister were like, okay, we need to learn to do our own hair. Once we started learning to do our own hair, the way we went to our mother, we were like, Mommy, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So we didn't realize how stressful, how long, how tiring our fingers. My sister's always like, my fingers are caught up. Like the way we go to our mom,
a
we were
lot of
like,
stress.
Mommy.
Yeah, so what the solution we're talking about, you know, do it yourself, do it yourself. How about the gracious wigs?
Lifesaver.
Are we trying to not talk about
Switch
that?
it up.
Oh, no, wigs are awesome. Wigs are great.
Yeah.
Every black woman should own a wig. Please.
I think I didn't know how to wear a wig until I got here. It's not something
same.
I would have
That's
tried
true.
in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know it's trendy in Nigeria to wear wigs, but I wouldn't have worn wigs in Nigeria. So I think it's one way you can actually still look good here
Yeah.
and protect your hair during winter
Oh, yeah.
too.
Big
Yeah.
time.
So this is a wig.
And switch up your look. Today you're looking like Beyonce.
Yeah,
Tomorrow you're you're just
Yeah.
switching up your looks. And that is something about wig that I love. You know, the versatility of wigs. You could be anybody. You could be anything. And then I love the reactions of people when they see me on wigs. So today I have this braids on, and the next day I have this coily hair. And
We're going to talk about that later. Just hold on. I
what's
just have a
going
quick
on?
question though. Have any of you taken the time to go to a salon here to get your hair done?
Okay, so are we talking African salon like our people, or
like go
okay,
to
no.
Afri-
Because
no.
once I check online and I check your services and it's just wash sets, styling,
Yeah.
I don't see cornrow, I don't see
I have a
braids,
story. I
I'm
have a
going.
story. Because one of Victor's friends, you know, they had, you know, when you come with flyers and bring promotions, we love discounts, you know. And they're like, oh, we're cutting our hair for this price, we're doing this. And he went to, he went to get a haircut. When he came to work,
I can imagine.
Victor couldn't stop talking. And guess what? Everybody in the office felt weird about the hairstyle.
Okay, this was a haircut, right?
Yeah, so he was like, they didn't understand how to cut his hair. Like he kept trying to explain to the guy what he wanted, but it wasn't working. For every time, you know, it just got bad. And I'm like, okay, just go back to your village salon. And have you guys noticed, like, here, most wives cut their husband's hair.
I don't.
Why?
I don't know. My husband does that. He's good.
Yeah, he does. My
He
husband does
cuts
this.
his hair.
Although sometimes
he
he just be like, oh, baby, my hand can't reach there, and I can just finish some parts for him.
Well, I
But
used to
don't.
cut Victor's hair until, you know, recently. Then he started cutting his hair and he's terrible at it. Because he has patches everywhere. And I'll be like, see. But when he got here, and then he was like, why have I been paid the barber's money in Nigeria for how many years? And you know how to barb hair, like you know how to cut hair this good. Because I pride myself, I give him very clean cuts. Like,
Oh, nice.
I carve it, you know,
Oh,
mix. Yeah.
what?
I didn't get
Really?
it from anywhere, you know. So he was like, why have I been paying money to this guy since, and you know, you do this well, but you know, now he's not a big boy, so he doesn't want me to cut hair anymore. Anyway, so let's talk about the wig culture. Yeah, what reactions have you gotten, you know, from colleagues, friends, environments, the frequent change of hair?
My colleagues are so confused. They're so confused. It's so funny. There's just this day I had my hair, like I have this wig, my classic, I call it my classic wig because it looks good. I can straighten it, I can curl it, it looks amazing. So for a while I went with that, and then I changed it up one day and they were like, oh, you changed your hair, how nice. This, that. I'm like, oh yeah, thank you. Then I came back another day, different look, I'm like, oh. And then,
I like the way that sounds.
I'm looking at them, I'm like, do you guys realize this is a wig? And they looked at me like, it is? So I'm like,
you're actually good to have told them it's a wig.
I assume they knew. But so every time they compliment me, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a nice wig, thank you. I'm in my mind, I'm thinking,
what about you for like it?
So for me, I kind of like her assumed they knew it was a wig.
How?
But
How?
I don't know. I mean, you know, I didn't think it was a secret. Like everybody knows about wigs.
Really?
I mean, so even back home, we're not the ones making it. It's coming from somewhere. So I just assumed everybody knows people wear wigs. And so this day at work, I had a Filipino guy beside me, and I'd been doing wig ever since I joined. Then one day I just decided to just take it off and came with my hair. So he came in and then he went back, kind of like, am I in the right cubicle? am I
natural?
Yeah. Am I in the right cubicle? Because is this your hair? You know, it was. And you know the way our hair shrinks.
Yeah.
So if I wash it, if I don't straighten it, I'll just be like a man. It's very short and curly. So he came and he was like, I thought I was in the wrong cubicle.
I want much explanation to him.
Well, so I just told him, so what I've been coming with is a wig, you know.
Ooh.
You just put it on and then you take it off.
Not me.
you don't tell people?
Okay, how do you do it?
I just like the
You know, Obi likes
shock
looking glamorous. I don't see her telling anybody.
but I noticed that every time they're looking at me, why she has these braids on today, and the next day she has this curly hair. So one of my colleagues was bold enough to ask me, what did you do to your hair? How did you do this overnight? I said, well, it's voodoo, because I'm not telling you it's a wig.
Why would you say this? No, my question. Did she believe you?
Does she believe you?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you have no idea,
Because it's a miracle, right?
you know when you're not used to something, she's like, oh, okay. You know that? Oh, okay.
Let's take a quick break, guys. We'll be right back.